Albert Einstein's life and legacy extend far beyond his revolutionary physics, encompassing complex personal relationships, bold political activism, radical views on education, and a nuanced approach to collaboration that challenges the lone genius myth. Personal life, love, loss, and hidden struggles. Born in Ulm, Germany in 1879, Einstein's personal world was marked by both intellectual partnership and profound hardship. As a student at the Swiss Federal Polytechnic, he fell in love with fellow physicist Mileva Maric. They collaborated on early research, and some historians argue she served as a critical sounding board for ideas that would shape special relativity. The couple had 3 children, Liesel, Hans Albert, and Edward. Their marriage dissolved in 1919 amid tensions over Einstein's growing fame and his reconnection with his cousin Elsa Lowenthal, whom he married the same year. Elsa managed his public life until her death in 1936, providing stability as he navigated rising anti-Semitism in Germany. In his later years, Einstein formed deep emotional bonds with colleagues and friends, but remained fiercely private about his inner turmoil. Often turning to music, he played violin daily to find solace. Political and social activism, a voice for justice. Einstein's fame gave him a platform to advocate for causes he believed in, even when they put him at odds with authorities. A lifelong pacifist, he renounced his German citizenship at 17 to avoid military service, and co-authored a counter-manifesto to the Manifesto of the 93, which defended Germany's role in World War I. As Nazism rose in the 1930s, he fled to the US and became a vocal critic of fascism, eventually urging President Roosevelt to develop the atomic bomb to prevent Nazi Germany from doing so first, a decision he later regretted deeply. After the war, he campaigned tirelessly for nuclear disarmament, signing the Russell-Einstein Manifesto just weeks before his death. He was also a staunch advocate for civil rights, describing racism in the US as America's worst disease, and joining organizations like the NAACP. Though supportive of labor Zionism as a safe haven for Jews, he opposed the creation of a purely Jewish state, instead calling for a binational Arab-Jewish federation in Palestine. In his 1949 essay, Why Socialism?, he argued that capitalism's inherent inequalities threaten democracy, though he criticized Soviet totalitarianism as a distortion of socialist ideals. Education philosophy, beyond facts to critical thinking. Einstein hated the rigid, memorization-focused schooling of his youth. He once joked that education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. He believed the purpose of education was to nurture independent thought and moral values, not just technical skill. In a 1931 speech at New York State University, he argued that curricula should prioritize the development of the capacity for thinking and judgment over vocational training, warning that over-specialization risked turning people into useful machines rather than harmoniously developed personalities. He championed interdisciplinary learning, emphasizing that science must be paired with humanities to help students understand the motives of human beings, their illusions, and their sufferings. Collaboration and conflict, the genius who needed others. While often portrayed as a solitary thinker, Einstein relied heavily on colleagues to refine his ideas. His classmate Marcel Grossmann taught him Riemannian geometry, critical to developing general relativity, and co-authored the N-12 theory that paved the way for his final field equations. Michel Bessot, a fellow patent clerk, was his closest confidant for decades. Einstein dedicated his 1915 general relativity paper to Bessot, and his last words before death were in German, asking for his friend. He also collaborated with Satyendra Nath Bose to develop Bose-Einstein statistics, laying the groundwork for the study of quantum gases. His debates with Niels Bohr over quantum mechanics' probabilistic nature, epitomized by his line, "God does not play dice with the universe," shaped the field's philosophical direction, even as he never accepted quantum theory as complete. In his later years, he worked with mathematicians like Élie Cartan on unified field theory, a quest to merge gravity and electromagnetism that remained unfulfilled but inspired generations of physicists. Legacy, more than a formula. Einstein died in Princeton in 1955, his ashes scattered secretly to avoid turning his grave into a shrine. Beyond his scientific contributions, from relativity to the photoelectric effect, which underpins modern electronics, he left a legacy as a public intellectual who believed science must serve humanity. His face and equations have become symbols of genius, but his life reminds us that curiosity, compassion, and a willingness to challenge convention are just as vital to progress.